Alrighty, so I am Potato Powered and this is another Warframe video. And in this one I was kind of looking to discuss the differences, if you will, between the Dreadbow and the Paris Bow. Well, not so much discuss as maybe just have a chat about them. So basically, I've just acquired the Dreadbow, and first off let me start by saying this video isn't going to be one that says, oh my god, the Dreadbow is fucking amazing, you should really go for this over the Paris Bow, or this one's better than that one. It's not, it's because that would just be bullshit. Because at the minute, the Dreadbow can only be acquired by either buying the Stalker pack, which is 800 platinum, which is fucking crazy. Or if you're fortunate enough to finally defeat the Stalker, he has a chance on dropping the blueprints for the bow, as well as his other weapons. So anyone hunting the Stalker, or hunting his weapon drops if you will know that they are pretty piss poor for some people. I guess I kind of got lucky because I encountered them 3 times. 2 on really low Warframes, on my Excalibur Prime and on my Vauban. And the 3rd time I encountered him on my Frost and I managed to kill him. Well, I managed to make him flee. And he dropped the Dread blueprints for me. I know the other weapons are Hate and Despair. His throwing knives and his side, or whatever you want to call the big ass weapon on his back. So the differences basically between the Dreadbow and the Paris Bow are, as I said before, you can only acquire the Dreadbow through the drops for the blueprints or through platinum, buying the Stalker pack, but whereas the Paris Bow can be bought for 225 platinum and the blueprints can be bought for 20,000, and then whatever components you need to build it and then credits you need to actually build it as well. So the base damage of the Dread is 60, whereas the base damage of the Paris is 45, so there is a 15 increase in base damage. So for lower levels starting off, the Dread is kind of better straight off the bat. The Dread doesn't have any armor ignore, whereas the Paris Bow has an 8 armor ignore in it. So basically you already have armor ignore without any mods being thrown onto that thing. The Dreadbow has 2 polarity slots, whereas the Paris only has 1. The base critical damage is 200% for the Dread, whereas the base critical damage for the Paris is only 150. And the base charge damage of the Dread is 150, whereas the base charge damage of the Paris is only 100. So you're getting a 50 increase in the charge damage as well. As you'll probably notice by watching this video, like I said, I have only just acquired the Dreadbow. I am fucking dreadful with it. I just can't get the hang of it. I can use my Latron pretty easily enough, and my stun shotgun and all that, and I know they are completely different weapons. It's a lot easier to fire a weapon than it is to do the whole drawstring of a bow and try and get your shots right. Like, it is really bad at close range due to the fact that you've only got 1 arrow, so if you're getting swamped, you're fucked. Long story short. But like I said, I'm pretty bloody bad with it, and maybe that'll get better when I throw some mods onto it. I believe maybe fire rate mods will increase the drawstring effect, and maybe the reload ones will increase my time from taking the arrow from the quiver to the bow. Someone can correct me on that below. Maybe, hopefully you're fucking right. So basically I wanted to ask, there's bound to be guys out there as well that have maybe both of these bows. Which is your preference? Or if you don't have both of them, maybe you've got the Paris and you're trying desperately to get the Dread to try it out. Which would your preference be? Which would you prefer if you had the option? If you had the 800 platinum to buy the Stalker pack, if you knew that the blueprints were going to drop from the Stalker for the Dread, which would you prefer it over the Paris? Maybe you prefer the evil look of the Dread over the Paris, the dark black and the red, and the needle point on the end of the arrow of the Dread is a bit more kind of freaky looking than the Paris is. As I said, I am pretty damn bad with it, as I have just got it. So anyone with a few hints and tips below as to what mods of that to throw on this thing would be greatly appreciated, because I have come across guys in some of the random planets or random ships that I've dropped down onto, and these guys have been really, really good with the Paris. I have come across some really, really bad guys as well. Guys that would be just the same as me probably if I tried to jump into a random with the Paris. I don't really see the point in jumping into random missions with a bow if you're really bad with it, because I have seen some guys in some of the missions I've been on that have been really, really bad. Like when you get to the end and the damage report comes up as to who done what kind of damage, and this person will be lower than 10% because they were either missing all their shots, or by the time they drew the drawstring on the bow, then the target was already fucking dead. Because you've got guys running through with all kinds of weapons, whether it's shotguns, whether it's sniper rifles, that are literally just mincing through enemies in seconds, or guys that are going through just with their melee, just using dual heat blades or Cindos or Grams or whatever they're using just to mince guys out. So by the time you draw your bowstring, these things are dead. So like I said, anyone who's got this thing, are you in love with it? What kind of mods have you thrown on it to make this thing absolutely your favourite weapon? Maybe you've got it and you absolutely fucking hate it. By all means, tell me why. I look forward to your comments, and if you've enjoyed this video in any way, shape or form, then by all means, please do leave a comment. Hit that like button if you liked it, and if you're feeling more than generous, then by all means hit that subscribe button, and thanks very much for watching.